unfortunate
And
part.
there are several films today we're going to talk about. A few of these have been out for a short while, but we haven't had a chance to talk about, and others are not yet out, but they've already allowed us to release the embargo for reviewing, including the first film we're going to talk about, which is one I've been looking forward to ever since I saw the first trailer. I'm a sucker for war films.
I am too. Me, particularly World War One.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are not that many World War I films out there. One of my favorite World War I films was A War Horse.
Wow.
Yes.
A Spielberg film, which I really liked.
Then we had the documentary from Peter Jackson last year.
Which is interesting that it was released last year at the end of December and then got a wider release in January. So some awards, it got some award recognition last year, and it's getting award recognition this year too because of that crossover.
Right.
It got a Critics' Choice Documentary Award this year. But the movie we're going to talk about now is called 1917. Sam Mendes put this film together. If you saw Skyfall, you know what kind of talent this guy has. It's not a hugely named cast. There are a lot of small roles with cameos of some people that you do recognize. But give me your take on this World War I film that we'll say edited by Lee Smith, who got an Oscar for Dunkirk. And some people gave me a hard time because I said maybe he could get an Oscar. They're like, he only edited like 2 things.
No, when you go back in behind the scenes, so the way this film was shot, it's made to look like one take for like the 2-hour runtime, with an exception that there's like 2 clear spots where you're like, all right, there was a cut right there, and there was a cut right there. The rest of it is made to look like just one continuous take. But you go back and do some research into it, and it's actually just expertly stitched together. I think some of their longest takes were as long as 8.5 minutes. And when you look at the logistics of everything that's going on in this film, it's a war film. There's explosions, there's mayhem, mass mayhem and chaos all over the place. There's dozens, hundreds of extras, and all of that, just directing that and editing that, and then Roger Deakins behind the camera.
The cinematography, the Oscar winner Roger Deakins, incredible in this film. You are completely immersed in what's going on when you are watching 1917. I've said this a few times already this award season. I said it with Ford versus Ferrari. Watch it on the big screen. This movie, watch it on the largest screen you possibly can with the best sound you possibly can. We went to Asheville to see this, and it was a pretty big screen. It wasn't an IMAX, but it was a pretty big screen, and we were just, we were really a part of this film when we watched it.
Yeah, and you think going into it, okay, is this just going to be a gimmick? Does it really need to be in one take? Is it just an artistic choice that doesn't really add much substance? But it certainly does.
Yeah.
You have to, it's almost the best way to tell a story, to feel exactly what the characters are feeling in every situation. And
in real time.
Yeah.
It has this kind of real time feel to it.
Yeah, and you think if it's just the technical brilliance, is that all there is? But no, there's so much substance to the story. It's in the quieter moments. Some of those are just as impactful and riveting as some of the huge bombastic war moments.
Absolutely. It is a film that has a very simple story, a simplistic story, really, when you think about it. And it has this kind of Saving Private Ryan feel to it.
It seemed to have that vibe.
It has that vibe to it. So the story itself is pretty simple, but the way the story is told is what makes it so magnificent. And there are, talk about character arc and character change. You see a character that is pretty much asked to tag along for the ride or for this journey. He doesn't want to do it. And you see his character changing. It's all about him completing the mission throughout the story. Fascinating film, a solid A+ for me. I could watch this film a dozen times just because of the brilliance of the way it's put together.
Yeah, an A+ for me as well. There was just this one moment where you'll know when you see it, but it's at the very climax of the film. The music was swelling, Thomas Newman's magnificent score. And it's like, I was almost brought to tears with just how magnificent it all was. Yeah. So solid A+.
There's one particular scene that is probably one of the best scenes I have seen on film this year, and you compared it to
Portals from Endgame, when the Avengers assemble moment, and this scene was just as stellar as that.
I'm getting chills.
I know,
actually. I'm getting chills right now
yeah.
thinking about that one particular
Yep.
scene. And so it's well worth checking out. It does hit select theaters Christmas Day and gets a wider release in January, but they are saying lift the embargo, talk about this film, build it up, and we are.
Well, as with most movies on the show, I haven't seen it. But I did see the trailer last night before I saw Knives Out, which, by the way, as you guys said, was great.
Yes.
But it just looks staggering. I mean, I
It's-
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I highly,
It's
highly
beautiful.
recommend this. Come award season, as you start seeing the nominations pouring out from critics and from the Oscars and the Golden Globes, I think you're going to see this film up there for a few categories.